On the RI platform of ReTechCon. First of all, let me thank RI for inviting a non-techie guy to come and do this presentation. And when I heard the topic of smart retail and intelligent retail, I was still wondering what is it that I'm going to present about. But as I do in my press reactions as well as TV reporting, I present what I want to present rather than what's the title. So under the title, I've tried to present my take on what is intelligent retail and what is smart. So what I'm going to try and cover is how do I see the whole evolution of retail, where are platforms headed, and yes, last but not the least, a small pitch on Shopper Stop as usual. So let's begin with the evolution itself. So there was a time when we used to talk about Apple in a different context, the proverbial Apple, but now Apple has become the largest market cap company of the world. We used to open the windows to get some fresh air. Today maybe sometimes we do curse why it is crashing or why it is not working. Viruses, yes, we know about viruses for last 20 years when doctors used to advise, especially in Mumbai, that you have caught the Bombay virus or some other virus. But these days, viruses are crashing systems as well. Yes, Twitter, now a hashtag. I always thought that the bird sounds are much sweeter than the hashtags. And Twitter has brought down many ministers, many celebrities down on earth as well. And yes, we are also talking about sky. And there was a time when we used to look up the sky and say, okay, is it going to rain or not? But now we are going to talk about how sky has been dominated by 3 or 4 companies and taking over whole processing happening across the sky. So moving on from that evolution to retail revolution. Retail revolution across the world has been more than, if you look at it, 1890 to 1990 was dominated by brick and mortar. But after 1990, 1995 when Amazon was born, after 2000 we are really seeing online coming in first for convenience and transaction, and now getting more and more dominant with personalization and many other things. But this is a journey, and this journey has changed through demographics, through consumption, through practices, and now heading towards personalization in a very big way. When you look at Indian retail, similar trend. We started with hearts, we still have hearts, we still have the Sunday bazaar, the Monday bazaar, etc. Ration shops, they are no more so dominant as they used to be earlier. But yes, even CSD is pretty strong even now in India. Then came the branded stores in the 60s to 80s, Bata's, Bombay Dyeing, Raymond, etc. From there, we in 1990 onwards, we saw the malls coming up in India. Then came in the online, and then the marketplaces, then 24/7 shopping, television shopping, all that is there. And today we are at a crossroad where many of the marketplaces want to use the small kirana for delivery. So look at the context now. The context is things are changing, and they are changing towards what I keep on saying is platform. How has tech evolved? So tech, when it started, I still remember my first interaction in college where there's a large processing room and we had all punch cards. All those guys who have gone through technical education, engineering education, used to have those punch cards and large rooms where we could see big computers. Those days of high efficiency are over. Yes, efficiency is still being bought, but then came into data processing. From data processing, we went into differentiation creator, and today IT is a strategic tool. And IT is being used not only as IT but also by CXOs for many other things. And what are those many other things in retail? And I'm not going to run through the whole detail list, but whether it's the back end or whether it's the front end, whether it's a consumer, whether it is processing, you can see retail and IT getting completely integrated. And earlier you used to call the IT head when you had problems. Now you have to have the IT head along with you to create new solutions and to ensure frictionless retailing. That's the change that has happened in retailing through IT. And you can see it cutting across everything, financial system, supply chain, customer understanding, each and everything. And I'm going to take on a few examples in my presentation. As far as customers are concerned, a lot of new initiatives have already arrived in retail, right from a magic mirror, which we have experimented with. If you visit Rebecca Minkoff's store in New York, you will find that right from the entry to trial room to exit, there are mirrors and there is tracking that is happening that's helping you. Screens for engagement within the store which keep on feeding you a lot of data. Endless aisle, each and every omni-channel player wants endless aisle because what your product is not available in the store today, what your size is not available today, what your brand is not available here, you can sell it through endless aisle concept. Assisted and personal shopping, this to my mind is going to be the biggest winning strategy for every retailer, because if you want to engage the customer in a bigger way, this is going to be the best tool for them, because customers still want to be talked to. They don't want an IVR that keeps on feeding information. And yes, there is also the quick checkout, because checkout still continues to be one of the biggest problems for retail, and between 5 to 10% of retail transactions are lost because the transaction could happen fast. But what I believe is really strong thing is everything is moving towards platform, and there are 3 big platforms right now in the world, 2 big, very well known. Third one is also emerging, Amazon, Walmart and Alibaba. And I'm going to talk about what's the evolution of platforms and how is it heading for, and how is Indian retailing getting impacted. So I call Alibaba as Ma of platform, not only because it's Jack Ma's creation, but it is the original creation by somebody who thought through, started with retail, started with B2B, went into B2C, and then created supply chain, created banking, created escrow payment model, got into television, got into communication, got into chat, got into physical retail, and has actually demonstrated to the whole world what an omni-channel platform stands for. And don't look at only the valuation, look at the power of this platform, how it is engaging with suppliers, how it is engaging with sellers, right from Sky to supply chain to marketing and everything. That's the power that Alibaba is really created. And yes, there is the BAP of all platforms, which I call as Amazon. And Amazon is the original platform starting with direct retail. While Alibaba has always been a marketplace, Amazon always started as a retail, tech-driven retail place, but it has also gone into marketplace. But it has also now acquired physical retail like Whole Foods. It has gone into collaborations with multiple retail partners, including Shoppers Stop. It is also into Prime, which is a loyalty program, plus a television, plus TV production, plus subscription. So what you're seeing now is that every place that a customer can be touched, can the platform come into contact with you, and that's what the platforms are really doing. And that's the impact of Amazon. As far as Walmart is concerned, it has always been a physical retailer in multiple formats in multiple countries. But it has now gone in, last 3 years it has gone into overdrive to get into online retail in a big way. And it has acquired multiple companies. Obviously, the biggest acquisition that is being talked about and relevant to India is Flipkart, but they acquired more than 8 or 10 different companies, almost totaling to about 5 to 6 billion value till date. And they are also trying to get into the customer mindset in a better manner than what they have been doing earlier. Reliance platform, I believe, yes, Reliance is going to be one of the biggest platforms, although not very visible to many people. I believe this is the platform for India that can change, and some of you might be aware of the multiple retail formats that they have. You're also aware of their online format, but they are also big in media. And I also believe that the infrastructure piece that they have, both petroleum and telecommunication, are extremely important for them to really make themselves a really working and battling platform for the future. So how are the digital ecosystems across the world, and how have they evolved, and what do you really mean by a digital ecosystem? So when you look at China, it's always called a different ecosystem, but this is a summary of how the ecosystems are, and we all know about Facebook, Google, WhatsApp, YouTube, all of them. But in China, many of them are banned. And because they are banned, China has been able to create their own ecosystem, and that's why you are seeing that Amazon is not able to really take the market in China, because those digital local ecosystems are completely different. India is following the global ecosystem, so we have the same YouTube, we have the same Google, we have the same Twitter, but China is very, very different. And why is it, how is it making a difference really? So the difference that is coming out is the penetration rates are changing very differently. And if you look at Chinese online market today, is 1.5 times bigger than India's total retail. Forget about India's online, it's too small to really talk about. So 947, it is supposed to hit $1 trillion this year. And look at US, which has had the longest run in online, it is still not even a 500 billion market. It's $500 billion even now. And that's the difference in consumption pattern, that's the difference in the youth ratio of China, and also the way ecosystem of China has evolved. And what are these differences? So US, if you look at it, the entire online market has evolved based on convenience first, tax advantage, because even today, Amazon doesn't pay taxes on online retail in many of the states. And Amazon, all said and done, is a technology player first and a retailer second. So if you look at what's the big difference between a retailer and a technology player. So a retailer thinks of customers and creates product services for them, a technology player, originally if you look at it, whether it's IBM and others, have always thought about what solution they can provide for their client. That's how they think, the friction. How can I reduce friction in the client's ecosystem? But what Amazon did was they did not want to think about client, but they wanted to think about customer. And everything that they built is for frictionless transaction. And that's what makes Amazon what it is today, one of the biggest players in the world and maybe the second largest market cap company. China was slightly different. China had a challenge that many of the online players did not have trust with the customer. So Alibaba created Alipay, which is an escrow payment system. They created a distribution system, they created a channel, and through this trust that they created of Alipay, they're able to grow the market. Not only they could grow the market, there was a big advantage in China. They created the whole marketplace concept, which is what is now adopted across the world. Whereas Amazon is a retailer, then marketplace, China, Alibaba was always a marketplace. India has obviously taken its own path, which is what happens in India always. We always gone through the whole discounting route and more marketing route rather than convenience route or tax route. And that definitely is a challenge because unit economics now or even in the next 3 years' time doesn't look right for India, even for online and even for physical retail, it's still challenging. But for online retail, definitely it's really, really challenging. So what's really happened is, if you take China, these are 4 players and that's why they are called BATEX, Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent and Xiaomi, which is MI phone. So Baidu is the Google of China, Alibaba is Amazon of China, Tencent is the social media network, Facebook, WhatsApp, everything combined, and Xiaomi is the mobile company of China. And between them, what are the numbers? So if you look at the market cap, Tencent is 550 billion and this is slightly older number. Alibaba already nearing 500 billion, and if you add Ant Financial, which is currently getting funded at about 150 billion plus, they are talking of 700 billion market cap for Alibaba alone. And then Baidu, if you're talking about, or Xiaomi, they are still small numbers, but if you look at all the 4 companies put together, we're talking of 1 trillion market cap, which is almost half of India's market cap total. That's the power of these companies, not only market cap, but the number of customers that involved with. So more than 700 million customers are transacting on many of these sites and multiple times. Moving on to US, well-known GAFAnomics is the acronym for the US ecosystem, which is Google, Apple, Amazon and Facebook. And if you look at the current market cap, it's already crossed 3.1 trillion. 3.1 trillion. Just imagine the number of companies that they can buy out across the world based on their size, number one. And number two, the number of customers who are involved. So Facebook has today how many customers involved? 2 billion plus on a daily basis and a monthly basis. Same thing if you look at Amazon has 100 million Prime members. That's a big, big number across the world. And if you look at Apple, again, the largest market cap company, maybe it will be $1 trillion. In fact, it touched $1 trillion a few days ago and should be there maybe in a few months back again. So between Amazon and Apple, I think they are going to be the 2 big companies at $1 trillion. So who will be India's Bahubali? I don't know. And I think we can also add Mr. Kishore Biyani's picture in that. Although it's not digital, but I believe he can be one of the most significant player cutting across all these channels. Although this picture is about all the digital guys here more. So what is smart? Coming to really speaking the topic that we talked about. So we have talked about smart shirts, smart mobiles, smart bags, smart luggage, smart everything. And I'm going to show a few examples of the smart things. So right from 3D furniture that is getting printed and getting used, to 3D shoes, 3D t-shirts, to iToast Messenger, and I always give this as one of my favorite examples because it can be very handy, that many a times I imagine that my wife leaves, sometimes yes she leaves some breakfast for me in the morning with a note on the bread which can be read as, darling, don't come back home today without that necklace. That's the caveat. And yes, there is smart payment systems on mobile, phone, watch, etc. Google Glass, although the first experiment failed, I am 100% sure there are Google Glass versions coming up in the next few months and few seasons, which will definitely be really smart and help not only B2B but also B2C as well. Smart shirts, smart jackets are being talked about. Electric cars are on their way. Automatic cars, autopilot cars are on the way. Digital mobile wallet payments are very much there, and India has really taken it on in a big way. Taxis on demand are already very, very popular. And then there are multiple other versions that are coming in, whether it's Oculus or Expedition or even VR experience. But what I'm really seeing and excited about is how all these tools are going to impact retail, how they're going to impact customer interaction at the store, and how the interaction can be much more enriched than what it is today. That's what I believe in is going to the contribution of smart and intelligent retail. And one classic example here is Belle Shoes in China has done multiple other things, and some of us are trialing many of these tools. So traffic heat map in the store through beacons is something we are trialing right now. You can actually capture where the customer is spending time, where they are not spending time, which are the hot spots, which are the cold spots, then capture conversion, which places. So the foot mat actually tells you how many pairs did a customer try, how many got converted, and what can you do about it, which styles are working, which styles are not working. Exactly the same way that the online players are doing, you can actually start doing it in the physical store. Food scan, again, is a new technology which can actually help you to buy the right kind of food, and there are a lot of new companies now working on multiple things of getting custom-made shirts, custom-made suit, custom-made whatever you want, and all that is related to technology. So how can you use technology for connecting with the customer, giving them best product, best fit, and obviously take out friction? That is what is all happening through smart. And Modiface, Max, Sephora, all of them are currently experimenting with virtual makeup. So you pick up the makeup shade that you want and you can actually see it on yourself on the screen. You don't have to really try 50, 100 makeup shades. You can see it for yourself, take a picture, share it on social media, and these are right now live across multiple stores, across multiple countries. Yes, the biggest battle right now that is going on in US market is voice. And whether it is Alexa or whether it is Siri or whether it is Google Home, I'm sure there are many speakers, and when I speak to my grandson who is just 2 years old, and he wants his favorite YouTube tunes to be played by Alexa, and he tells Alexa, Alexa, play Babies on the Bus. Now that's the kind of reach that has taken place through voice, because he can't type, he can't read, but he can speak. And that's the big advantage. And you can find that India could be one of the biggest adopters, because we still have illiteracy, we still have a lot of people who can't speak English. And if the voice can be done to understand Kannada, Malayalam, whichever language, I think it can be a fantastic change for all those who have not been able to adopt online, and they can adopt it at a much faster pace than what they are doing today. So visual, verbal, language, I think are the three combinations that are going to really work for future. Amazon Dash, I'm sure some of you must have seen the videos of Amazon Dash, as well as Amazon Go Store, as well as HEMA Store. If you haven't seen it, please see it. It's one of the most interesting way of looking at technology. I'm still not sure whether the expense versus cost versus benefit is really big as of now, but yes, technology costs have always been coming down over the years, and maybe they'll become affordable over the long term. Then there are some really smart technologies coming up. So while drones are getting adopted, smart parachute. So the parachute is part of the box. When the box is dropped by the drone, the parachute opens up on its own and gets dropped as per the wind speed at the spot that you want. Another IP is underwater warehouses. Now we all know that the world is full of water. Yes, we still don't have drinking water. That's another matter. But because land space is limited, can you create underwater warehouses? I think that's the next step that we are seeing now, people working on it. Prime Air, which is drone, already well known. Drone umbrella, I think this could be a great boon in monsoons for Mumbaikars for sure, because you don't know whether to open the umbrella or not, or whether it will fly. So drone umbrella. Flying warehouses is something that's already getting trialed right now, both by Walmart and Amazon. Bitcoin, I heard there was a long session yesterday. As of now, India still bans Bitcoin, but I'm not talking about Bitcoin, I'm basically talking about how this whole application of blockchain can be used, whether it's for Bitcoin or for anything else, and where can it lead to. So that's all I thought I would cover on what I believe is smart and intelligent, and really then close in, because we do have a time constraint here of what we have to really talk about. So how is retail changing? So we talked about how retail is moving to platform. We started Shopper Stop started in a retail, the first retail store was a conversion of a theater into a retail theater. And that's why I always use this term, from theater to retail theater to now O2O or omni-channel platforms. But to win in omni-channel platforms, you can't really win only based on technology. You need to bring back romance to retail. And what is that bringing back romance to retail? We have talked about 3 topics this year, which is ACE, which is talking about assortment, because without assortment, whatever you try and do, whatever discount you do is not going to work. Second is customer service, and third is experience in the store. And what does assortment really mean? Can you keep on giving something new? Because the whole industry currently has gone into a model of discounting, GVs, more GVs and less GVs all the time. I think we need to all work towards giving the best of the product, new products, new innovations all the time, and drive certain categories really to bring the customer in. So that's about assortment, which is ACE. Customer service clearly is going to be the big winner, and we believe that the personal shopper service that we have started, which is already contributing more than 10% of our share. We already launched a personal shopper at home in Mumbai and Bangalore as well. That is also winning hearts and winning customers back, and we believe that that's the multiplier factor. So retailers, unlike technology guys, are used to doing additions, whereas technology guys are used to doing multipliers. And that's what I believe that the retail teams have to think of, that can we do multiplier rather than addition. And we need to ensure that we leverage the digital and IT technologies for customer benefit and really drive experience and productivity. As far as, so I've already talked about the personal shopper at home and events. Yes, we did a successful tie-up with CSK this season, and thanks to everybody's prayer and Dhoni's work, CSK was the winner, and we were very happy selling CSK merchandise and bringing some amount of excitement within the store. And you can see the joy in terms of when customers wear those t-shirts of CSK, whether they are having a Whistle Podu event or in mind or whatever, but that's a different thing altogether. Dotty, which is our event for encouraging young customers, young fashion designers to come on board and really sell their merchandise to newer customers. Personalization, we have gone into monogramming, we have gone into creating your own perfumes and many such things. So I believe that's the way ahead. Personalization by understanding customers better is going to be the big winner in future. And obviously fun-filled store experience, whether it is graffiti walls or flip books or bobbleheads and the store lighting and community interaction. And there's a small video that I want to play. Can we play the video of how we are trying to use augmented reality within the store, and this is right now live in our Malad store. Voice, sound.
Your family. Yeah, are you having a good time at Shopper Stop with your family?
Yeah, just now we are entering now.
I saw you just entered, of course. But family time is so important, which is why time at Casio is so important. Yeah, and I'm wearing this fabulous Casio watch that I wanted to share a little with you about. Yes, so this is a smart Casio watch. It's not like a regular watch. It not only tells you time, it can do much more. Yeah. And if you really are interested in wanting to know more about these fabulous Casio watches, then I recommend that you have a look right at your side. We've got a whole assortment of them. Yes, and I'm sure you'll like something. And the best thing to do is ask your wife to buy you one as a gift. Yeah, great. Your son is already interested, I can see. Yeah. What's your name, little man? Aditya, you love watches? Yes. You love Casio watches? They're quite funky, aren't they? Just like you. Great, so have a good time, enjoy yourself, and maybe just have a look at a few Casio watches as you go around Shopper Stop. Thank you.
So maybe you may not understand the video because it's not very clear here. Fundamentally, the whole idea was, can the customer be given some surprise with somebody talking to him through television? And the person is actually sitting somewhere within the store itself. But he's an expert on the category, he's expert in advising the customer. And for some of you who might know this gentleman, he's called Dew Takuna, and he's been associated with us for a long time. And we trained him for selling a Casio smart watch, and that's what he did. And it's really helped the customer to get a better interaction and understanding of the product. So that's again part of the personalization. This is our stack that we currently have right from enterprise service bus, ESB as it's called, of TIPCO, which is sitting in the center, MTM of Riverside, we have a JDA, a ERP system, we have a Red Prairie, WMS, and there is IBM, Sterling Commerce, multiple systems. So one of the things that I also learned over the years is there is no one single solution, and always be aware that all tech companies will sell you one solution, one answer, but that is never the answer. You have to really think through on multiple tech stacks and put them together if you really want to work well, and that's why you'll find that big companies like Amazon, Alibaba have built everything from ground where they want everything to work seamlessly. But yes, retail companies like us don't have such kind of IT teams, so we need to build those stacks, and that's why we have to keep on choosing multiple stacks to bring them together and bring them efficiently. And the real objective with which we have built the retail stack in the last 2 years' time has been about the whole omni-channel journey, which is one view of customer, one view of stock, and which is inventory, and one view of order, and that's what we are trying to do. And I believe that we are well on our way to really achieve the omni-channel journey. We have been growing well on online, we have been growing well on marketplace, and in addition to this journey, we also tied up with Amazon, which has taken up Amazon's FPI, or company has taken a 5% stake in our company, and we are also working with them right now on building marketplace, building marketing, and building customer experience centers within the store. So that's what our journey has been. But as I said, smart is not an end, IT is not an end, IT is a tool to really serve the customer well, and the whole idea has to be how do you really take out the friction in all the interaction and make the customers happy whenever they shop, wherever they shop, whether they're shopping in the brick and mortar store or whether they're shopping online or whether they're shopping on television. I think that's what we are really trying to drive through. So use technology as a strategic tool. Don't think of it as a department. It is one of the biggest tools that you have in your hand to make a difference. Thank you.